Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to make another video with all the current and most recent news on RGBA Riverside. Thanks to all the people that put content out there on RGBA. Ellie from ES News, Rainbow at Tees by Rainbow, Frank Silva at FrankDick_1, and the official photographer at Cumbia, and Fight Hype, and all the fighters, trainers, managers, and family that create posts on IG to bring us all the latest news and updates. Mikey Garcia, 39-1, 30 knockouts, scheduled to do a 4-round exhibition fight with Eric Morales in Riverside, California on June 9th. I believe that's Sunday. A portion of the proceeds has been reported that will go to support Team Colunga and Isaac in his journey to recovery. If you want to follow Mikey Garcia, he's at Team Mikey Garcia on Instagram. I believe he's at Team Mikey Garcia on Twitter as well. Abner Mares, 31-3-1. He posted on his Fox show, or he said on his Fox show, that he's back in the gym. He has not been seen in the gym, and Robert said in an interview that he hopes his injury allows him to fight again, but that his health comes before anything. So if you want to follow Abner Mares, he's at Abner Mares Official on Instagram. Josecito Lopez, 36-8. There's no updates on him. He last fought in January against Keith One-Time Thurman. He had a very successful round number 7. Many people thought he was one shot away from knocking Keith Thurman out. So if you want to follow Josecito Riverside Rocky Lopez, he is at Jose Lopez on Instagram. Very active on Twitter as well. Jose Carlos Ramirez, co-promoted by Top Rank and Rick Merizian, is 24-0 with 16 knockouts. He's from Fresno, I believe. No, he's from Avenal, but he fights a lot in Fresno at the Save Mart. So possible opponents for him, Regis Prograis and Maurice Hooker. He is a former Olympian, so that's why the 2012 is in his Instagram handle at JC Ramirez 2012. Rick Merizian is he co-promotes him with Top Rank. He is very active on Instagram, so if you want to follow Rick, he is at Promoter559. Jose Carlos Ramirez is the current WBC champion at 140. Brandon Bam Bam Rios, 35-5-1, unofficially retired in Tijuana, Baja California in February with his fight against Humberto La Zorrita Soto. But there are hints of him training there. In the last couple weeks, I've seen 2 videos of him with doing mitt work with Cuate, a longtime friend of Robert Garcia. So I don't know. He never officially came out and retired, so we'll see where that takes us. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Brandon Rios 1. Esquiva Falcao, 23-0, 15 knockouts. His last fight was in Brazil, March 31st, against 56-17 Argentinian Jorge Daniel Miranda. He is not managed by Robert, but he is trained by Robert Garcia, and he is promoted by Top Rank. He is also a former Olympian from Brazil. So if you want to follow him, he's at Esquiva Falcao. And then I believe he has a brother that's also a fighter. So Esquiva Falcao, 23-0, 15 knockouts. He fights at 160. So Robert thinks that he's close to getting a title shot. Eric De Leon, 19-0 with 1 draw. That 1 draw was last year against Andy Vences. 10 knockouts. He is from Detroit, Michigan. He fought in Costa Mesa recently and won via knockout. On that same card was Eric Puente, and RGBA helped out Eric Puente in his corner as well. Eric tweeted out a couple weeks ago that he's been fighting at 130 for 10 years. That's just a marker of his dedication to his sport. For 10 years fighting at the same weight. If you want to follow him, he's at Team De Leon 1. He is promoted by Top Rank, Eric De Leon. Joshua El Profesor Franco, 15-1-1. He just won last Thursday. He won the WBA International belt and the NEBF belt, fighting Oscar Negrete. I believe Oscar is Colombian. They fought on a Thursday, April 25th, at the Fantasy Springs in Indio, California, and Josh got the win via split decision. So Joshua El Profesor Franco has been with RGBA for, I believe, 4 years now. This year will be 4. He turned pro with Robert. He's fought most of his fights at the Belasco Theater in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, and between the Belasco and Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California. He's also fought on the big stage on a Canelo undercard at the, I believe, at the Cowboys Stadium as well. So Joshua El Profesor Franco, I believe he contends at bantamweight, 118. So he is a Golden Boy promoted fighter. He is the older brother to Southpaw 9-0 Bam Rodriguez. So if you want to follow him, he's at one Professor Franco. Hector Tanajara, along with Franco and along with Jonathan Navarro, these 3 fighters turned pro with Robert in 2015. He's 17-0. He's got 5 knockouts. He won that WBC youth belt in Tijuana, Baja California in February. And we have no fight news on him. But if you want to follow him on IG, at Hector_Tanajara. There in the picture is he's there with his dad. And his Instagram is just his name reversed. So at Tanajara_Hector if you want to follow senior. Hector Tanajara, 17-0, 5 knockouts, Golden Boy Promotions. Jonathan Thunder Navarro, 16-0, 8 knockouts. Just recently married. He had pictures up on Instagram. If you want to follow him, he's at Jonathan Navarro_16. He is from East LA, and like I mentioned earlier, Franco and Hector all turned pro with Robert Garcia in 2015. Carlos Licona, 14-1 with 2 knockouts, from Westminster, California. His family's from El DF, Mexico. He's been training in the gym. There's a lot of videos of him training with his dad. And Robert says he's working on getting him another title shot this year. Carlos Licona, 14-1, 2 knockouts. If you want to follow him on IG, he's at Mexicanito12. Virgil Ortiz Jr., 12-0, 12 knockouts. It is fight week for him. He traditionally fights on Canelo's undercards. He is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions, and his opponent is Mauricio Herrera. So they'll be fighting at the T-Mobile in Las Vegas, and he is one of the hottest. I wouldn't even call him a prospect anymore, but more like a contender. His dad and Robert has said he's ready for anybody at 140 with any of the belts. Clearly, he can't fight the WBC stablemate champion Carlos Ramirez, but any of the other fighters they say they'll take on. So if you want to follow him, he's at Virgil Ortiz. If you want to follow his dad, he's at Virgil Ortiz Sr. Virgil Ortiz from Grand Prairie, Dallas, Texas, promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. Joseph Adorno, 12-0, 10 knockouts. His last fight was March 17th. No updates on him. If you want to follow him, he's at Real Joseph Adorno. El Terrible Bausa, 12-0, 5 knockouts. Last fight March 17th. No update on him. I believe he fights at 140. Him and Joseph Adorno are promoted by Top Rank. If you want to follow him, he's at Real John Bausa. Louis Coria, 11-2. Here you see him in a picture with Robert at the Cowboys Stadium. He got an opportunity to fight March 16th on the undercard to Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. So he will be on Legends Collide. There, the latest news is that it will be at an outdoor venue in Riverside, California. So if you want to follow him, he's at King Louis 416. He's very active on Instagram and on Twitter. Louis Coria, 11-2-0, under the banner of Mikey Garcia Promotions. Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero, 10-0 with 9 knockouts. He won his last fight via TKO March 15th. That was the night before Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia fought at the Cowboys Stadium. So Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero, I believe he's fighting under the banner of Mikey Garcia Promotions as well. So photo credit to Cumbia. And if you want to follow Porkchop, he is at Porkchop_214. He is from Irving, Texas. from the Dallas area. So that fight, that Garcia Promotions event was actually in Irving at the Southern Junction nightclub. Alejandro Portra Guerrero 10-0, 9 knockouts. Misael El Chino Rodriguez 9-0, 4 knockouts. He was scheduled to be the headliner for the what I was calling the Prospects Collide 2.0, which eventually turned into Legends Collide. But since then, he's been pulled from the card. So there's no update on him. So if you want to follow him, he's at Misael Otee, Misael Lotte on Instagram. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 9-0, 5 knockouts. The little brother to Josh. There you see him in the picture with Robert. To the left in the blue shirt is his dad. No update on him, but he was very active in 2018. And his last fight was on March 16th. He was able to showcase his skills on the Mikey Garcia versus Aerospin. If you want to follow him, he's at 210BAM. Lindolfo Delgado, 9-0, 9 knockouts. He has a fight date of June 1st. I have to double check that date. June 1st in Linares, Nuevo León, Mexico. If you want to follow him, he's at Lindolfo Delgado. Him and Misael are promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. Genaro El Conde Gamez, 8-0, 5 knockouts. He has a fight date of May 16th at Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California. He is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. He trains out of San Diego, California. And if you want to follow him, he's at Genaro Gamez on Instagram. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton, 8-0, 7 knockouts. I believe he's a cruiserweight. His last fight was on the Josecito Lopez versus Keith One Time Thurman at the Barclays in January. So if you want to follow him, he goes by Team Bulletproof. So on Instagram, at Team Bulletproof for Brandon Glanton, 8-0, 7 knockouts. Isidro Ochoa, it is fight week for him. Last thing that I heard out of RGBA's gym was that he was scheduled to fight this weekend on Gabe Flores Jr.'s card in Stockton, California. So we haven't been getting a lot of news out of RGBA, but luckily this last week, I believe a gentleman by Constantino Garcia put up some interviews via Fight Hype. So if everything has stayed the same, Isidro Ochoa 7-0 with 3 knockouts, he will be fighting on the undercard. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at IGO_Ochoa. Aaron Morales, next fight date. There's a rumor that he might be fighting on the Legends Collide on the 9th of Sunday. Aaron Morales, 6-0, 3 knockouts. He is from Oklahoma City. If you want to follow him, he is at Aaron_Morales. That's Morales with 3 S's at the end. Aaron_Morales. Ray Danger Murataya from Fontana just won his last fight April 20th on the Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados card at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. And he is also scheduled to fight on Legends Collide. He is from Fontana. I believe he does not have a promoter. Ray Danger Murataya, 7-0, 5 knockouts. His Instagram is at Ray_Murataya1. Brian Lua, 5-0, 2 knockouts. No update on him. He fights under top rank. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Brian_LUA. Jose Ruben Rodriguez goes by Ruben. 6-0, 2 knockouts. Has been moved very, very well recently. He fought March 9th on the Porter Ugas card and won. And then he fought on the Loma card at the Staples Center on April 12th. So it sounds like he's scheduled to fight on the Legends Collide fight card as well. If you want to follow him, he's at RubenNR_. He's from Indio, California. He says he stopped fighting for 5 years during his teen years, but recently got the itch to get back in the ring. And here he is, 6-0, 2 knockouts. I believe he fights at 140. So he has tons of sparring partners at RGBA, including the likes of Jose Carlos Ramirez and Virgil Ortiz, Lindolfo Delgado. At 140, there's plenty of good sparring. So if you want to follow him, he's at RubenNR_ from Indio, California. Brandon B-Fly Macias, 3-0, 1 draw. He got that 1 draw in January 18th on Prospects Collide. He has 2 knockouts. He is from Goodyear, Arizona, the Phoenix area. So hopefully we get to see him. I believe he fights at 112, him and along with Biggie, um, which is mini flyweight. So if you want to follow him at B_FLY301, I have his fight with his 4-round fight on my YouTube channel. So if you want to follow that, you can see that there. It has over 20,000 views. And then I've also separated by rounds. So if you want to see individual rounds, you could go that way as well. At B_Fly301. Robert Biggie Rodriguez, 3-0, 0 knockouts. He was able to showcase his skills on the Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence at the AT&T Cowboy Stadium. Hopefully, he gets to fight on Legends Collide here in Riverside. If you want to follow him, he's at BiggieJR_. And shout out to Cumbia for that photo. I tagged him on it. Isaac Lunga, 3-0, 2 knockouts. He has successfully arrived to a rehabilitation hospital facility in Denver, Colorado. The majority of the proceeds, if not all the proceeds from Legends Collide, will be donated in order for his family to continue to serve him well. If you want to follow him, he's at team_Kulunga. I also follow his mom, which is Carrie Kulunga, Carrie Kulunga. I also follow his aunt at Shelly_Shell on Instagram for all the latest posts and all the latest events that are being held in his honor. There's also a GoFundMe page at use the hashtag Team Isaac Kulunga. His brother, I do not have his IG memorized, but I believe he goes by Gunnie, Gunnie. For all the latest news on Isaac Lunga, who was the tragic victim of a drive-by shooting. So prayers for Isaac Kulunga. If you want to follow him, he's at team_Kulunga. But like I mentioned, if you want to follow his brother, his sister, his aunt, they're all very active on Instagram, showing all the latest fundraisers that are being held in his honor. Isaac Lunga, 3-0, 2 knockouts from Colton, California. Alexis El Macizo Espino. It is fight week for him. 1-0, 1 knockout. He did his pro debut in Tijuana, Baja California in February. He is on the DAZN app, fighting under Canelo Jacobs undercard. If you want to follow him, he's at _Alexis Espino 1. He's from Las Vegas, and I believe he fights at 168. Evan Sanchez improves to 4-0, 2 knockouts. His family, along with Al Perez, are running the Central Valley RGBA gym. So he fought March 30th at Cheers Bar in Tijuana. So he's 4-0. I believe he's a super welterweight. Evan Sanchez, 4-0, 2 knockouts. At Real Evan Sanchez on Instagram if you want to follow him. Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno is 1-0. He had his pro debut March 30th. He is the little brother to Blessed Hands Joseph Adorno. He is promoted by Top Rank. If you want to follow him, he's at Magic Hands_Jeremy. The newest addition to RGBA is Carlos Adames. He goes by Caballo. He fights at 154, excuse me. He is 17-0 with 14 knockouts. He is holding the WBA North America's champion belt. I think it's called here it is, NABF and NABO champion. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Caballo Bronco. He fights at 154. Added to Legends Collide on June 9th is undefeated 16-0 Jose Vivas from Texcoco, Mexico. RGBA fighters include Louis B-Fly Ray, Lina, and Mike Danny Sanchez. Recently added Robert Biggie Rodriguez and Aaron Morales. Technically, Mike Danny Sanchez and Lina Licuano are not RGBA fighters. But there we have it. The latest news that the event will be about a couple miles away from the gym there in Woodcrest, California, the Riverside area. And there's a picture of Cookie Licuana next to her brother Carlos Licuana. So the first quarter of RGBA this January through March was 23-4-1. The second quarter, they've moved to 4-0 with Franco's win in Indio. A cumulative record of 2019 is 27-4-1. I believe they're on track to get 100 wins in this year. So if you enjoyed the video, I'm Sonteo Media. You can follow me on Twitter at Sonteo Media. You can follow me on Instagram at Sonteo Media. Photo credit to the official photographer of Team RGBA, Cumbia. and to all the Instagram pages of the fighters, trainers, and managers who post updated pictures on their IG to allow us to keep updated on Team RGBA. So if you like it, please like and subscribe. I'm Sonteo Media on YouTube, on Twitter at Sonteo Media, on Instagram Sonteo Media. Thanks.